Alright, so here's a short little tutorial on how to make some cool effects in Adobe After Effects. So you're going to want to create your composition first of all. And if you're not doing at least 1080p, you're actually just a full pleb. So you're going to want 30 FPS. And we don't want that much long of a video, so 10. So what you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to find some gay shit to throw in there, and I have a folder full of garbage here. Yeah, that looks like it'll do. This can get us somewhere. We got, I think that's Shaquille O'Neal. What do we got here? I think that's a Harley Davidson. A bird. That's the guy from Film Riot. And oh, look at that, another Harley. Okay, so what we're gonna do for this effect is first we want get a nice view on it real quick. So what we're gonna want is the G key. You can click it right up here. You're gonna want this one, and you're gonna want a sick outline right here. You're gonna want a nice mask. Make sure it's exact, very pristine. You don't want to lose any parts of the car. So we have our car, okay? Okay, we have a car. So what we're going to want to do with this car is we're going to actually want a nice background, and go ahead and plop that in there. Yeah. Party people. We're going to actually want this in 3D. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here and select a new camera. And just hit OK because no one cares about that stuff. You're gonna want to set these to 3D layers, and then you'll notice you can move around your camera with the C key. You can press C to go through all the different options and all the settings that you can move the camera. So you're gonna want to separate your car. Now you can just bring it forward on the Z. You're gonna want to replace your rims, your sick rims. You're gonna want the turbo. You're gonna want the good ones. So what we're gonna do is we have a nice picture right here of a good tire. We're gonna wanna that's looking good. Now we're gonna want to fit it in there. We're gonna actually want this a 3D layer as well, and we're gonna have to align that with the wheel on the car. A nice way to do this is to create a new camera, camera 2, and then go to camera 2 here. Drop it below camera 1, and we can rotate around in the camera 2 view while maintaining the camera 1 right here, which is our active camera. So back to the camera 2, we can easily move the tie. Beautiful, beautiful. Now you can see here that you don't want much distance between the bottom of your new tire and the car, because slamming your car is the way to go. Also, you notice the Harley Davidson logo, we don't want it. We have white here, and we have something called Adobe Photoshop, I think it's called, but I don't know how to use that. So we're gonna make do with what we've got in Adobe Premiere here. So we're gonna try to take out as much of this as we can, and then we're gonna let the There we go. This looking pretty good. This looking pretty neat. So if you hit F4, you can get your blending options, and we can set it to add. And now we have an important, very important part in all of video editing and all of video effects and all of Sony Vegas. We're gonna want to go ahead and color correct it. So we're gonna take some levels. That you. So now that's looking pretty good, but we're gonna need to do the best thing ever added to Final Cut Pro, and it's called Add Grain. Since this is an artistic decision right here, you can really have some freedom here. Here we go. I found myself a passenger for the vehicle, and the first step we're gonna want to do is you're gonna want so now I've acquired the glass texture that best suits the environment here, and we're gonna take that, we're gonna drop it in there into our comp. Also create that as a 3D layer. But you might be asking yourself, like, wait a minute, there's no front wheel. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take our other Mushibashi right here, and we're gonna steal this man's rims. We're gonna steal them, and now this one's slightly out of focus, so we're gonna actually steal the front rims. We're gonna steal them all. We're gonna steal the rims, the Toyoyo tires. We're gonna steal everything we can from this car. I think this road right here matches the perspective pretty well. So you're gonna want to save your image. You're gonna want to you're just gonna want to put it in there. Just save it somewhere. And when you get that image, plop that right back into After Effects. You're gonna get that on here. So we're gonna name this after my favorite car here, the Mashibushi, and we're gonna call it Harley. So we're gonna want to get this thing moving. So we're gonna go to our position, make sure we're at our first frame, and we're going to just move it to where it needs to be. Also get that back in the Z space some bit. So we're going to get this thing animated. We're going to hit the start watch button. It's going to create a keyframe. This keyframe will mark these values right here, these points, at this time, at our first frame. And you can use page up and page down to go frame by frame. So we can easily... So now we have our little boy rolling. He's rolling. Now that he be rolling, we can come into the camera options, and we're gonna enable depth of field. This is going to be a wonderful effect. It's going to really enhance the viewing experience. We're gonna just drag our aperture up to oh. And now that we've got ourselves some nice focus going on here, we can step up the effects. So we're gonna go ahead and add a new adjustment layer on top of everything. Now this one is quite important because we're gonna add some glow. Now glow is a pretty cool one. It's a pretty cool one. We're gonna drop the threshold. We're gonna tweak the settings here a little bit. We want it to be really faded. We're giving the impression of DUI. You know, you don't want to drive under the influence, so you really just want to trip out your audience so they know not to do it. So we're nearly done, but what I would like to do is add another effect called CC Light Rays here. And this is going to be a really dank one right here. We're going to put it in the, we'll put it on the headlights actually. Give the effect that the lights are on. Pretty cool. So we're going to by the time we get to the end, we want it to be off so we can actually see our driver here is not quite human. He's clearly under the influence. That's what we're going for here. That's the message we're trying to portray. We don't want anyone to be driving under the influence. We want people to be driving safely. So this is very effective. But it's not the only thing we could do. Something I really want to do here is duplicate our Harley Zachy, and I actually want to flip it upside down. Lower 60 or so. There we go, that's looking nice. Now we have a really shiny road. Nice reflection going on. It really helps get across their point, but it's not quite believable. So something I like to do, very simple. Just add a new solid. Just make this black and just create a simple kind of ovally mask here about how the car would be. Just fine-tune it here. Alright, it's looking pretty good, so I'm going to drop the opacity a little bit so it's not that harsh. And you can really see the difference that it makes. Just sort of shading this ambient occlusion, if you will. Just going on here artificially really makes it look a lot more like it's actually in the scene. These whites are still very burnt out, but that is definitely, that right there is the effect I'm going for. That pristine, flushed out, burnt white. Exactly what I want to prove the point that our character here is driving under the influence. So now this is looking glorious. This is looking fantabulous. Except for one thing. Our road is actually out of focus. So we've got this looking pretty good, all except for one thing. Our shading here needs to follow the vehicle. Now that's looking pretty good. we're going to go ahead and save this so that we don't lose all of our project. You can save it anywhere you please. I'm going to give it a nice, appropriate name so I know exactly what it is when I look for it later. And another thing that we can do is actually open up our Harley Davidson pre-comp and animate these spinners to be spinning. I can do our actual composition, and we can really see they're spinning. We know what's going on here. Here come that boy is what's going on here. And, you know, when he gets to the end, it's all about, like, that oh shit, what up moment. And that's just so valuable. It's just such a touching moment. So that's looking great. Now, normally, I don't do my sound design within After Effects. I only do my video effects here, only do my composition here, only do color correction, masking, painting things out, all that good stuff. That's what I do here. I don't do sound design or editing here, but we're going to make an exception for this tutorial. So I'm going to locate my favorite song that I have saved on my computer. Here we have it. I'm going to drag this in. Here we go. We have our audio. We're going to just throw that in there. And I'm going to flipper it down so I can take a peep at these waveforms. And I'm just going to line this up and render it out, and you're going to get a glorious video. Thank you for watching, guys. This is my first ever tutorial, and I'd say it's looking pretty good. Thanks for watching. Peace out.